Welcome everybody to your first C++ tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you basically just the super basics of a console program. So let's get started here because console programs are going to be the easiest to make. So firstly, before I get into anything, the link to this site is in the description, but later on we will be using code blocks. But for now I feel like this would be easier. So anyway. So this first line is basically saying that we're importing IO streams. So what does that mean? Basically, we're including a library which allows input and output. And it also has other things, but that's aside the point. So that allows us to use this, but we'll get onto that later. So what is this using namespace STD thing? Like that sounds sus, right? But no, that stands for standard, and basically it just makes it makes life easier for now. Without it, right, we'd have to type std : c out and std : end l. But for now, let's just use the namespace. Alright, so then what is this int main, and what are these weird brackets, and what's everything? And why is there a semicolon here? Well, after basically everything in C++, unless you're like starting a function, or there's like one of these curly braces, or after basically every command, right, you're gonna add a semicolon after. But anyway, okay. So what does this cout do? Well, take a guess. It's going to print this out on the result. So if we execute this program right here, it will say hello world, right? Okay. So then there's the end L. So what does this do? Well, let's print something else out. Test, right? Also, you need to use these double brackets, and I'll explain this in a second, but if we do this, it creates a new line. Whereas if we don't do that, watch this, watch this, watch this. See, it doesn't create a new line. So you need to add these two arrows. Now, what does this do? It essentially concatenates it sort of. So you are combining, you're like adding this to the output buffer, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's the end of the first tutorial. And oh yeah. One more big thing. So the return 0, I don't think you technically need it, but it's convention, right? It's something more along the lines of convention, kind of like how it defaults to printing hello world. And one more thing that I feel is important for any future reference: 2 slashes creates a comment. A comment is not used in the compiler. So anyway, this is going to be short and sweet. I plan to make a bunch of short and sweet tutorials, but yeah, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace out.